After a moment of thought, the military calmly said so. The opposite is to speak clearly. Only it works. Is it enough to feed thousands of your people? Zeng Yat first continued to lead the way. Regular fruit is not enough. But there is a method that can catalyze its rate of reproduction. For example, this one. He pointed to the ceiling in front of him. The ballerina and his group raised their heads. Suddenly seen on the ceiling, there's a spherical object hanging. The green leaves surround it firmly. Emits a pale blue light. Look closely at its shape, as translucent as the shape of a person. Wu can't help but roll his eyes. This is the person. You use people as nutrients. Let it result later. He spoke with an unchanged face. To be more precise, it's human remains. After a while, the investigation continued. Zeng Yat advanced deep into the party blood. They saw an amazing sight. In the grand building in the center, the vast space has been taken over by blood. From bottom to top, to the highest level of the ceiling. The body of the blood is raw. It's like an animal. There's even vibrations. It's like breathing. Around on the wall, on a floor full of humanoid objects. Looking back, there are thousands. Zeng Yat first put his right hand in front of his chest. Close your eyes and pray. May those who pave the way become the hope of survival. My blood becomes my food. At this time, everybody understands. Where does the snow come from? They used the bodies of the dead as nutrients to devote to the blood of the party. Then the blood absorbs nutrients from the body. Flowering results through this way to respond. The enemy hogs the arm. Wrinkle, you say, it's different than eating human flesh. Wu said it was still different. At least the infection of the virus can be avoided. More from a psychological perspective. It's more receptive. Everyone, despite the vibrations in front of this enormous metamorphosed plant, but for this situation, they don't feel too abnormal either. Even though they've seen more strange things. This method of handling the body looks like this is good. Zeng Yat turned his head first. I'm serious about all of you. This is our biggest secret. The snow. It's related to the lives and deaths of thousands of spears. We are so. I ask you, they must help us protect this secret. Zeng Yat first did not worry that people from Jiangnan will be moved by the party as blood. If not now, there would be no food. Who wants to hit this food? Though SAO, this is from the body that absorbs nutrients that give birth to fruit. Let's take that big blood. It's also very difficult to transport it elsewhere. The armed forces nodded with peace of mind. I will help you protect this secret. He had a red one in his hand. Give corn to the enemy standing next to you. Then turn around and go outside. The enemy glanced at the fruit in his hand. My face is full of disgust. Then throw out the bad luck you have. Confucius is born again and throws for the time of enlightenment. I don't want anyone to like it. They throw back and forth. It's completely considered a game. There's only one thing for this toy. Even if they are beaten to death, they do not want to eat. On the mold, Zeng's face twitched with a strange smile. Then he left with everyone. He turned his head and looked back. There are thousands of bodies hanging around. I don't know if it's the wind or something. start to vibrate slightly. After leaving the abandoned building, the military discovered that the people of the other powers have not yet arrived. He asked me to meet the snowman. Danger is not. I heard that you're Cardinal Kier. Even some leaders in the neighborhood. I'm also interested in her abilities. Zheng startled the speaker. From the day of not handling the work in the church, foreign affairs are also our responsibility. The armed forces continued. If you always want to meet once. Zheng Yat first small eyes shrank. When you hear this word, the big characters in Jiangnam Great Zone, I'm interested in the power of the original. It's a very important signal. In fact, your power is not broken. You can help others wake up. In theory, if you get her help. It's no different than having an army of mutants, continuously expanding as with the snow flute. It's also a great opportunity. If you can get the support of the powers. At the regional level, the pace of their cult's growth. It will definitely get worse. Zheng Yat first spoke to the Wu army. Please wait a moment, I'll inform the Cardinal. The armed forces gave a nod. Zheng first walked to the cathedral by himself. After he left, people looked at the shadow of his back, with different facial expressions. Maybe it's the blood in the back that's causing the vibrations. The enemy frowned. I always feel that. Snow has a kind of evil. Speak quietly, in a quiet way. This is not unintended. Even though SAO exists in the form of religion, it's going to be a little bit weird. The military also spoke, however. The sermon can survive until now. Let more of their spears survive. It's also a very powerful kind of power. The army chief approached next to the armed men. Captain, are you really interested in the risk? No stomach, no. The military frowned. Up to this point, someone up there asked a question. Let's take a look at her abilities. If it's really as the intelligence says, she can help people wake up to their powers without paying any price. Like that, the leader above will definitely want to get her. The school district continued. It's exactly the kind of power that everyone craves. The Attorney General laughed. The military heard that. Mouth raised a smile of deep meaning. How to make it so simple? The police chief winked with curiosity. What is your idea? The military said, people want to have some power. They all need to pay a corresponding price. We wake up to our powers. It's also after crossing the brink of death. It's like using your life in exchange for power. And her ability. It's said to help others wake up without paying a high price. It's so easy in this world. The police chief also became more serious. I also highly doubt this. The armed men raised their glasses and continued. This is something that the Kier leadership has also considered. The military has studied mutants for a long time. They all feel that the raw material's power is not excessive. It's unimaginable. So this time, we have to be convenient. Let's test a little of her ability. See if there is, as in such magical legends. The police chief asked if it was really as rumored. Then how? The border guards put 2 hands in their pockets to tell the story. If that's really the case, her ability from a strategic perspective, certainly not inferior to level 5 Klon. When this word was just spoken, everyone else at the scene was horrified. This four-letter Fklon is for mutants. It is no different than Tai Sun, which is worse. Look at the whole country. Now only know when Fklon. That's the mysterious man in the Great Wall. The power of Kier was so strong that it was unimaginable. I know who he's keeping an eye on. Even if you run 1,000 miles, you'll be killed. I can't hide anywhere. Entire southern delivery area, there's never been a Fklon. The military also hopes he can grow to the rank of Fklon mutant. But it's a lack of nature. He couldn't reach this level. Word, Fklon for letters. It also becomes an imaginary existence in the heart. Every mutant in Jiangnan Great Zone. The military pays attention to people's expressions. He laughed for an hour. I'm just saying there's this possibility. But the original is not fake. We still don't fully understand her abilities. So you can't make a judgment. The Assistant Attorney General gave a nod. That's why you wanted to see her for yourself. And explain her situation. Right? Wrong not long after. Zheng Yat first from the price of the way out. Invite the military to be in danger. Biography of the bar. I see the shadow of danger. To whisper. That's the danger. Is she really a strategic level existence? As speculation. The soldiers entered the church by themselves. He met a young girl about 20 years old, wearing a red holy dress. You two talked to each other in the street. For a long time. The soldiers left the road. His face was always as cold as ice. No one can predict his mood. Assistant Attorney General and others can't wait. How to ask the captain. You don't know if it's Fklon or not. The military replied coldly. For the judgment of mutants. Based only on my eyes. It's impossible to give an answer. But he changed the expression. This girl must have a problem. People are surprised. He asked curiously where there was a problem. The military side points to its solar plexus here. Everyone was surprised. There's a mental issue. A cult as big as a sermon. His cardinal has a mental problem. But it's also quite reasonable. The school is laughing. Whether to be a cardinal, or cheating to take possession of property, or become a blind fool. The military completely agrees. The Attorney General said no wrong. When talking to the danger of not dawning, he can feel her passion. For the cult. She really believes that there is a God in this world. This, on the contrary, surprised the armed forces. Not to blame, other works of the cult must be given to Zheng Yat first to manage. Even if a Christian is too pure, work style, or is over-idealized, or too crazy. It's very difficult to maintain the stability of a large cult. The soldiers said casually. Summarize later. We'll slowly think about her abilities. Wait until the zombie problem is solved. We still have a lot of time to do this. Next, we have something more important. To negotiate. Not long after, people from other powers also came. According to the division of the armed forces, each person, they all carry their own strongest forces. Not limited to tanks. Artillery with full military equipment. for most of the fighting members. It's all concentrated in the area of the snow to create a majestic picture. When all the bases are up, this makes the church worship the snow, feeling a lot of pressure. The police and his team also came here. Get out of the car. And then I got out of the car. Follow me, I'm not going anywhere. Then I'll arrange a safe place for you to wait. In the face of Zhang's meekness, Chu Kai Ni happily nodded. They all listened to you. A group of people came to the snow church building. An architecture that's clearly religious in nature. That's the cathedral. On the way, Trong Yip meets his former classmate in heaven. Hello, Trong Yi, asked the angel. Why did you come slower than us? In terms of distance, they're clearly closer than their group. The angel laughed and said, there's a lot of work to be done in the factory. We are not like you. It can be used comfortably. Few people are really convenient to translate hedgehog. Two people have a simple conversation. There's not a lot of communication. Now everyone doesn't understand. Why did the army call them back? From personal relationships, they're not necessary. Nature has nothing to say. After they arrived, the sermon was immediately led by someone. The translation, Chu Kai Ni and the celestial Let's go image. To the church together. Grand Cathedral used to be one of the most popular attractions of the city, Tianhai. She has also been here to visit. But he doesn't believe in religion. So just came to see classical European-style architecture. When you two go inside the church, they found out that everyone else had come enough. Military frontier Zheng Yat first, Hong trainings and false seas. They all found seats in the church. Only in the church. There were many faces that Zhang had never seen. It's a woman in red. Looks dignified. Glass walls and her immature face. To create a clear contrast. I immediately knew the identity of this girl. The only person who can show up here at this point. You can only be a snowman, you don't. I can't help but look a lot. And your eyes. Although SAO according to legend, she's got a gift. It can help people wake up to their powers. The sky was also seen for the first time. The danger is not bright. You can't help but tell Zhang Yi, she is so young. She looks like an immature person. The doctor glanced at him. Pay attention to your expression. And restrain your instincts. Stunned, what do you say? You know me from small to big. I only like older women. The police officer said, I've heard exactly that. When you work in a factory. I fell in love with a woman 12 years older than me. Massage shop owner loved each other for 8 years. People have lived in a small neighborhood for years. That kind of rumor, nature cannot escape from Zhang's ear. The black face up. It's like being thrown into a fireplace. What do you know? I was young that year. She's still in form. We all volunteered to love each other. The doctor glanced at him. I didn't say you were wrong either. Even without my mother's love. It's not a big mistake. Figure heaven, he was so angry that he wanted to fight Zhang Yi. Your son. However, when you consider your current situation, he can only control his anger. You don't know love. You are a cold person with no feelings. The sound in his eyes flashed a round of memories. Then he laughed coldly. Feelings, ha ha ha. Love is the cruelest thing in the world. Two people when approaching others. Everyone looked at them one by one. It's cold, and you don't keep arguing. So they all find their own seats. The military does not welcome them. It's about what happened last night. Last night, we beat a king to death. The truth has proven, after the king was killed, the entire zombie population is out of control. And the mice follow the zombie herd. They also become headless FLIs. Aesthetic listening to this word. Of course, it is. She also knows that the king was beaten to death last night. They're definitely operating near their bases. The border force continued. So, to solve the zombie problem in Tianhai City, we need to destroy the entire king, who controls the zombies. When listening to the investigation, the team quickly killed the king. Everyone was shocked. Cosmetic translation promotion. Of course, they found a way to deal with the zombies. Even though I predicted it, but such high performance of the enemy still makes Zhang Yi feel amazed. Even though SAO they've been underground. He planned to kill the king. In the end, they lost 7. Curious Angel asked what the last king was. Maybe a little bit more, of course. The military needs their support to destroy the zombies. Should be sure, will not withhold information on this matter. Soldiers from underfoot. He picked up a black bag containing the body, then put it on the open ground in front of the cathedral. He pulled the lock himself. A humanoid animal, body full of white hair, appeared in front of everyone. The military pointed at it and told everyone, "This is it." Everyone stood up and approached the king to see the mysterious shape of the king. Everyone has a little hope. This is the king. It feels like a normal monkey. They think that the king will be a kind of creature, more mysterious and scary. But now it looks normal. It's nothing strange. It's like a big hairy zombie. Ask if this thing is strong. The border force replied, the king can control the zombies. Its intelligence is relatively high. The ability is not much different from humans. However, its fighting power is weak. Give a nod. I also took a deep breath in my heart. As long as it doesn't have particularly strong fighting power, then it's much easier to solve it. He used to think the king's fighting power must be much stronger compared to copper armor exam. If so, solving it will be very difficult. They told me how they killed the king. Zombies will appear every day, attack people. But the king himself is weak, will not come out of the shelter. It's hiding deep in a subway tunnel. So, you need someone outside to attract the zombies. Then an elite group into the subway tunnel to slay the king, to solve the zombie army problem. When the king was killed, these zombies are easy to deal with. Although the number is more, it doesn't pose a major threat. When I heard this, I woke up. So what you mean is, you have to use the whole church. Our preachers are the prey, decoy, attract zombies to attack. Then you go underground to deal with the king. Zheng Yat first in his eyes appeared a cruel ray. The rain in my eyes has a light. The unknown light is moving. He laughed and said to people, "You shouldn't get too excited. If you look at the whole city of Tianhai, your sermon has the most people. It makes sense to choose this place as a battlefield." The armed forces face Zheng Jingxian and respond without changing the expression. Although that seems a bit of a leadership thing to say, but we've actually considered this. You're not like the other 4 groups. Is holding the perfect defensive gear. But you don't have to worry too much. Now every armed force has gathered here. We can ensure your safety to the greatest extent. He bit his teeth every word, but if we gather here, not everything, zombie groups in Tianhai City, they will also come here. The armed forces said coldly, "If possible, as you said. That would be the most ideal outcome. We hope we can solve the zombie problem in the city of Tianhai once and forever." Zheng Zhaofei suddenly raised his voice in anger. "Then the fate of our Snow White is Sao. What do you use their lives for?" Red Pepper speaks with an interesting face. "Trin Dat Tian, you shouldn't think it's wrong. You should also be rational. Why don't you think a little? If people in the vast area of Jiangnan do not use this method to solve it, zombie group, your sermon will also disappear from the map. Right?" She reached out her hand and spoke casually. "Our groups, even if we go to the end of the world, there is one final option. It's sealing yourself in a shelter. It just needs to be equipped with military-grade buildings. Zombies can't break through to get in. But what are you? There are so many people. Just based on this kind of rudimentary defensive work. Really think how long it can take." Hero training Pepper, speaking in a carrying voice, carrying a mocking part. Like her face is serious too. Because everyone sitting there understands. What she said is the harsh reality of the city of Tianhai. If there's any power in the Tianhai city, first killed by zombies, it's definitely a snowflake. The fairies are more white. This is not a reason to arrest. We're a decoy. The military finally spoke. Why can't the people of the snow flute be a decoy? But tell me if you have a better option. As soon as this word is spoken, Zheng Jingxian and Original No Stomach are all a little stunned. Why can't they be bait? Can this issue be addressed as straight out as raw? The army looked at them and said coldly, "We've traveled thousands of miles from Venus to here. Let's face the danger of zombies. Now we're all here. All the armed forces of other powers. It's all here. If you say that, your spears are bait. So why are we not a decoy? In this dangerous situation, do I let you face them on your own?" The army said strongly. That made Zheng Yat first unable to answer. Ballroom and flute snow. There is no hatred. They didn't come all this way to dig. Which is to help the indigenous forces of the Tianhai city, solving the zombie risk. Zheng snatched news by teeth. Even in the heart can explain the choice of the armed forces frontier. But there's still a bit of dissatisfaction. The translation is slowly opening its mouth. You must know us. These fighters, they're the first-line guards. If it is time to die, we will die first. He points to the leaders of the powers. We have so much power. All armed forces. They have come to protect your people. What else are you not satisfied with? Of course, Zhang Yi was just saying polite words. If it's really time for something to happen out of the blue, others are not willing to run away. The soldiers are too big, the movement and them, with a smaller number of people who don't try. Zheng Yat first appeared to be a little shaky. He also seems to understand. They have no right to refuse this. The police officer explained to him. Let him have his nose. He finally sighed reluctantly. Good, I understood. But mister, you must come up with a fighting plan. Let us believe. When Zheng Yat first agreed, Wu confidently adjusted his sunglasses. Don't worry, I've planned a fight before. This time they face an opponent. It's a less intelligent creature, so building a battle plan become quite simple. Armed forces with a deep understanding of the structure and the behavior of zombies. He has completed his battle plan. He is now proving your thoughts to everyone. First, people will gather at the altar. Then, we'll attract all the zombies in the Sky City. Focus on here. Due to the spatial distance, the speed of the zombies will be slow and steady. This will help forces from the 5 great powers protect around the snow, flute, and lure zombies' underground attack. And our troops and our group. 7 people make up the front line. They will go into the earth to destroy the king. This plan was successfully implemented once. Prove it is possible. That's the basic plan. It's our strategy. It's similar to sieges and reinforcements. But now it's more like a hunting raid. The soldiers rarely grinned when they finished speaking. People find this joke a little cold. To expand the thought. That's good. So we're sort of attracting zombies as bait. Right? The sky speaks. No, that's wrong. This is a huge trap waiting for zombies to jump in. The military was as cold as confident. Though SAO, they're just mindless creatures who command the collective. Just find the right method. It's really not that hard to deal with. When listening to the Wu border troops speak softly, everyone here feels tremendous pressure. The translation sounds simple. But if we attract all the zombies in Tianhai City, how much will that amount be? It's tens of thousands or even tens of thousands. Based on the number of people we have, and an uncertain defense system. Can we withstand that enormous pressure? No. They are not afraid of zombies. But there's a very true saying. Many ants can bite elephants. Loss of solid shelter. Fighting in the streets of the snow. With tall architecture. It's not his strength. The military responded at the time. We need you to fight to the end. Even if it is for your own country. Let's fight bravely. Shrug your shoulders. I don't want to argue with the military. Finally, the Tianhai City is their territory, and solving the zombie threat will bring the greatest benefit to the 5 great powers. He looked at everyone with suspicious eyes. He said coldly, I'm afraid someone will deliberately falter. Cause 7 heavy damage to the snow spear. How to do it now? Xiao Hong contemptuously looked at Trin first, and laughing, Zheng Jian doesn't need to be overly skeptical. Then with the army of zombies attacking AI, dare to falter. It's not SAO suicide. Zheng Yat first thought a little. Realize that bravery is right. Even if they want to falter, they're not strong enough. The military looked at everyone. Do you have any other ideas? Trong Yi and his team do not have strong opinions. Even though Sao, they don't have to fight on their own territory. Now, the rain is not dawning, and you have been silent so far. Slowly speak. While attracting zombies. I hope we can protect people who are incapable of fighting, especially children. Snows are not afraid of sacrifice. When necessary, they are willing to lay down their lives for the faith. However, in the cult, there are also a lot of women, and children are incapable of fighting. They can't just stand by and watch them get ripped apart by zombies. When it comes to children, the face of the soldiers, there's an unusual expression. But it quickly disappeared. It doesn't matter where the safest place is. Show me a place, so that we can protect. For children who can't fight. Children under the age of 14 can be protected. There are others. They need to support the military against the zombie attack. Only children are allowed to hide in a safe place. The rest is not allowed. Because of the others, you need to get the attention of the zombies. Think about Chu Kai Ni. He immediately had a plan in his heart. He's going to put the baby in the same place. With my team. He doesn't have to say this right now. As a leader of a faction. The arrangement of a person with authority, it's still his responsibility. Not fake, keep talking. So let's use it. This road is a shelter. She clasped her hands in front of her chest, with glasses looking at the altar. The gods will protect your faithful. Great Teacher Road is at the center of the whole cult area. It is also the safest place. If the enemy can get in here, that really shows. The situation has become extremely dangerous. There is also a basement in the road. It can be used to hide people. At important times. People don't know this place very well, by the trappings of the snows. But when you don't choose this place, everyone naturally has no objections. Military border distribution for each person. A high-end communication device can directly communicate with the satellite nebula system. Even in the most extreme circumstances, this device can also maintain effective communication. On the battlefield, information is extremely important, and this device ensures that 5 people can be contacted in time and work together. The military reminded everyone. This battle may be long. It can't be over in a day or 2. Everyone needs to be ready for a longer war. For Zhang, this is not so important. Even though the living conditions here, not by their former hiding places, but they can rest on the sleigh. There is enough food. There's a heating system in the car. So it's actually not that difficult. Just have to find a chance to bring Kai Ni an article into the snow church so that she's in a safe range. End of the meeting. With a happy expression on her face. Getting in front of danger is not fake. Your Highness, I have a small matter to ask for your help. You don't raise your head to look at Janji. Her eyes were clear and deep. Like the twinkling night sky, exudes an irresistible charm. Before I could even open my mouth, Jen quickly stood between them. He looked at the chapter calmly. A slight smile appeared in the corners of her mouth. Tang epidemic first. I don't know what you're looking for. Say I'm willing to help.